Hi, everybody. Welcome to Anything But Routine. This is Allie Garrett, and Cindy Clow is here, but she is going to keep her talking to a minimum today because she woke up with no voice. So if she does talk, it might sound a little scary today. And then we are so excited to have two really awesome guests here. So we have Kelly McCarney from Sartell dance team and Taylor Varghese. I said that right, right?
Yep.
From Eastview dance team. So if you guys want to maybe say a little bit about yourselves, maybe Taylor go first. Kind of tell a little bit about
Sure.
your coaching and
Yep.
and your kid
Yep.
and your
Yeah.
kids.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on and share some of my knowledge. I feel like I'm still new with my kids being small, but I've been coaching the Lightning Dance team for 13 years now. So I was an
Wow.
assistant for 10 years. And then I just recently took over as head coach 3 years ago. So this is my third season as head coach. And I had a baby right in my first year of head coaching. So it was a whirlwind. But yeah, I've been coaching. I was on the team myself in high school. And then I went to the U of M where I was on the premier dance team for 3 years. So that's kind of my dance background. And now I'm still in it, still doing dance and motherhood and trying to find the balance. So
Right. And Kelly, how about you?
I'm in my 23rd season as the head coach at Sartell High School. I started the program in 2002. And let's see, when I started, I was only 19, so I didn't have any
Oh my
kids. But
gosh.
then I was 19 years old. I was in my freshman year of college, and they had never had a team. So aging
wow.
health, but I saw an ad in the newspaper and that's how I applied for the
So
job.
funny.
But 23 years later, I'm still there, but I've been through being in college, graduating from college, getting a full-time job, and then having kids. I have two children. So my daughter Reese is 12, she's almost 13, and my son Tyler is going to be 10 at the end of this month. So kind of continued to coach full-time all through having two children and still have two kids at home, and they're middle schoolish age. So my
Awesome.
daughter will actually be trying
Yes.
out for team next year. So that is going to be
Oh,
a
wow.
next step.
And you're a nurse, she said, right?
Yeah. And then I work full time as an RN at the St. Cloud Hospital. So, yeah.
Just
Awesome.
a few things. Just a few things.
Yeah.
So we actually had somebody emailed us after a coaches meeting that they said it got brought up at the MADT coaches meeting about coaching with children and how difficult it can be like to balance the family life and the coaching life. And they emailed us and said, would you guys ever do a podcast on this? So that's kind of why we decided to invite you guys because, Cindy said both of those guys are doing it so well. And as much as we probably sometimes feel like we're not doing it well, but we thought you guys would be awesome guests for this. So, um, something that Cindy always says is the quit going on a guilt trip. She said she
Mhm.
always, packs her bag and goes on a guilt trip for being a bad mom or, not being home with her kids enough. And I think that's something we probably all do and feel.
Mhm.
Um, I think the biggest thing for me that like being a great coach, I feel like having a supportive husband is probably one of the
Yep.
most key things. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think that you have a supportive husband and somebody that can help balance what you're doing because coaching is so time consuming.
Yeah. That was for sure first on my list was like having a supportive husband and having a supportive family if they're
Right.
nearby. I mean, I rely on my family a ton with my boys. They're 5 and 2 right now, but my husband jokes like the husbands of Minnesota are the backbone of Minnesota dance team. And
Right.
so, but it's
They
so
are
true.
though. They
It's
are.
My
so
husband
true.
always says that too. He's like, don't forget to list your other assistant coach, me.
Yeah.
Right. Right. It's so true
Yes.
because I can imagine, I know that we've had people actually like call and say it's just so hard because my husband's upset that I'm not home more and they think I'm spending too much time and I just can't imagine having that guilt on top of already feeling guilty. So I know
Mhm.
like my husband is like home with the kids all the time. He does bedtime by himself all the time and he like joke about it, but most of the time, he is 100% supportive and never makes me feel bad about not being there. And I think that is huge. And I think on the other side of it, I think it's been a really good thing for Sam, and that's my husband and my kids, like their relationship, I think has grown more than it probably would if I was home because I feel like as moms, sometimes we just like take over when we are home. And I think it's given him a lot of that like control with the children and like bedtimes and stuff that he wouldn't probably do if I was there just because I would do it.
For sure.
Mhm.
I would say
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. The supportive spouse is number one. Um, And even I would say like it's helped my kids now that they're a little bit older. They're really close. My husband's name is Nick, and like they're really close to him. Like
Yep.
my friends, like they talk about how they kind of do everything and they're always running the kids everywhere and they're doing, all the things that moms do. And I do those things, but Nick does them too. I would say like especially during dance season, Nick does it more than me.
Right.
And during not dance season, I try to balance that out and pick up the slack and do more driving. But he's driving the carpool to dance, he's driving to the basketball practice, and he's invested in their activities and sports. And I think it's just made their relationship with him better too.
For sure. I think it creates a really good bond that maybe wouldn't be there if you didn't do it. It's weird having you sit here and be silent. And I think too, kind of Taylor, what you touched on, I think that's huge in enlisting like help from family. And I think sometimes in our role, like as coaches and you guys being head coaches, I feel like sometimes that like the nature of that kind of person is a do-it-all and doesn't want to ask for help. And I think allow yourself to ask for help because I think that's a big thing that you have to do. And I feel like I've been pretty good at it just because I feel like I've been comfortable about it with you especially, but being able to ask grandmas and aunts and uncles and friends for help because people are willing to help, I think, if you ask, and sometimes they don't want to step on toes. But if I even know like I've had friends help, like even the one time when Sam was gone in Florida, Sharia came with to the dance competition. She was like, I'll ride with and watch your kids while you're coaching. Sure. No problem. Like I think there's a lot of people that are willing to help. And so ask for help when you need it because I think people are willing.
I do that a lot on like competition days. So like my husband's doing the weekday, like getting the kids off the bus or getting them to their sports. But when we have those, like in Minnesota, we have these long Saturday competitions where we're gone all day. Like, not that my husband doesn't stay home, he does, but then sometimes he does have something going on for his social life or his work. And so I reach out to my mom, I reach out to my sister, my sister-in-law, they love having them on a Saturday, and it just helps like spread it out to avoid burnout on anybody that they're just with the kids all the time too.
Right.
Yeah. My kids have started to look forward to Saturdays, like with my husband, Josh, their dad. So they're like donut day. Like they always go get donuts when I'm gone. Like there's just little traditions, I think, that start in routines. And I think that's a big part of it is just adjusting to what your new norm is, especially if I feel like that's what was the biggest thing for us when I took over this role. And then had Everett in the middle of it, like was just how are we going to balance it? And now it feels like we're finally in a rhythm. So it also doesn't last forever. So it's like asking for help and finding a rhythm and figuring out what works best for your family. And what that looks like.
This episode is sponsored by the Just for Kicks Teacher Program, your ultimate destination for all your dancing needs. Studio owners and teachers enjoy special discounts on all your dancewear essentials, including shoes, poms, leotards, bike tards, dance dresses, and more. Plus, don't miss out on our all-new liquidation page, where you can find incredible deals on high-quality costumes at unbeatable prices. With a wide range of in-stock items ready to ship today, top-notch customer service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Visit us at justforkicks.com or call us at 1-800-450-DANCE to get started now.
Do you guys ever take days off and like find that extra time to spend with your kids? Because I know that's something that I've kind of been struggling with. I feel like in the last month is I feel like I'm not seeing my kids enough because I work all day and then I don't get home till like bedtime and I walk in the door and I'm like, all right, jammies on, let's go to bed. Here we go. I'm getting home at 6:30 and we do bedtime at 7:30. So it's like a really quick turnaround. So that's something I've been feeling like that mom guilt of like, I don't feel like I'm seeing my kids quite enough.
Do you guys take days off?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Kelly.
No, you can go.
Okay. I was going to say, well, today is my day off, which it's funny. I'm like doing this, but I told them, I was like, I'm going to take a call. They're upstairs right now, but Thursdays are my day off. And so I made that clear when I took over this role, like this is going to be my day. And it's actually, I think, sometimes good for the team too, to have the assistants be able to step into that role and hear from them. And the team knows like Thursdays, I'm not there unless, we are kind of not like having to cram in a little bit more before a competition or if something is changing, I will be there. But otherwise, like Thursdays are the days that I am a mom and I'm like doing things that need to be done, grocery shopping and taking them to swimming lessons and the things that just happen throughout the week that I don't get to be a part of, but I like
I
to
think
be
that's
a part of
great
it
that
on
you do
Tuesday.
that.
Mhm.
I probably
Yeah.
should do that.
I don't have like a set day off. I don't typically take days off. However, I say that I have set days. For example, like Halloween. I always tell like I'm never there on Halloween because that's a big deal to my kids that they want to go trick or treating. So I'm never, my coaches know that Halloween's one day I take off. My son, his birthday is coming up at the end of this month. And so I always take off his birthday, whatever day that falls on. And then because I work at the hospital and I have another full-time job, I do have that work schedule a little bit. So I'd say about once a month due to my full-time job, I have to miss practice due to my work schedule. So then I also am obviously not there on those days. So I don't so much have a set day off, but I do have a couple of days throughout the season. I would say on average it's 1 to 2 days a month that I'm not at practice.
Hmm. Yeah, something I've tried to do too, and I don't know if maybe I'm alone here, but I know you did it with me and I loved it growing up, but I try to bring my kids when I can or when it works. And I would love to not bring them together because I think that's way harder. And I will say, like, when I have my kids with like at competitions, I definitely am not as involved as a coach as I am when my kids aren't there. But we have a good coaching staff. So I think when you have a great coaching staff that you can do that, like Stevie loved getting to come with. She came with all weekend last weekend, mostly because she had an eye doctor appointment. But yeah, so it just kind of worked out that she got to come along and she really enjoyed it. But yes, it added a lot of extra work for me and a little bit of extra stress, but it was also kind of fun. And she has her little matching costumes and she likes to do that and dress up like the team. And now she's getting a little bit older where it's getting kind of fun to bring her with. Where like
Mhm.
Winnie, I feel like just stepped into the age where it's not as fun to bring her with. Like I had Winnie at every competition last year because she was just a baby. So it was easy to just wear her in a front pack and have her there. But this year, I think she would maybe not enjoy it quite as much. Where she'd run away. Yeah, we're starting to really kind of like being there. So that's kind of something I've done. And I know like I have really great memories when I was a kid of getting to go to stuff. Like I loved being at the dance competitions and being involved with Kicksters and pretending that I was part of the team and doing all of that stuff and pretending I was judging. And I really liked it and I have good memories of that. So I do try to bring my kids when I can. The couple times I've brought them to practice, I'm like, never again because I can't really help coach then because they're like running wild. Unless I have like sometimes we'll have like injured kids or managers that kind of step in and help play. So actually, like last Saturday, we were practicing and our manager literally sat with Stevie the whole time that we were practicing and was playing with her and doing all this fun stuff with her. And she loved it. And that really helped because then I was able to coach and she was still there. So that was kind of fun. So getting kids involved, helping with them too is fun. And they like it. They like helping with the kids.
Yeah, it definitely brings a lightheartedness. I think there's about half of us on our staff that have kids, and we don't bring them every day, but there's moments that we have to, or we choose to, or
Yeah.
it varies. But I can tell on those days, like the kids, like our team, like they get a little bit lighter. They're with each other all day. School is hard, but sometimes like just even seeing a small child, like it makes everybody a little bit happier, like their innocence. And so
For
they
sure.
have said too in the past, like, we love when you bring your kids. Like it just changes the atmosphere a little bit. So again, wouldn't have them there every day. They would run
Right.
wild and you obviously can't focus. But um I think there's that part of it. And I also think it gives my own kids a perspective of where I'm going. So like my
Right.
oldest had a little bit more separation anxiety when he was little. And so like when I would bring him, like I would say, here's where I'm going. And he'd say, oh yeah, like all the girls will be there. You'll be in the gym and this is what you will do. And so like just seeing that and
Yeah.
knowing what I'm doing, and that kind of allows them to be a part of it. And it also removes some of the guilt too, because it makes it more concrete of this is what I do when I am here and you've seen me do it. And so I like that part of it too, that they can see it and
And I
visualize it.
think it gives them pride in you.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Pride in you.
I'm
Yeah.
proud of you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Kelly.
I was gonna say I don't like routinely bring my kids to practice, but I mean I do, I'd say once or twice a year
Yeah.
to practice. And some of my assistants also have kids. So like they will bring their kids, occasionally, not regularly, but and I think it's totally fine. I mean, it usually works out. Now that my kids are older, like my son loves to just, sit there and play on his Nintendo or whatever I'll let him do. But um I think the other thing that I noticed that in my kids too, like when there is a kid at practice, like they do love that. The
Yeah,
dancers, I say my kids, I mean the dancers love
right.
that. And I think that it helps them to, I think sometimes our athletes just see us as like coach, like you're here, you do this, like you stand up there and tell us what to do. And sometimes I think it helps them to remember that like, oh yeah, she's a mom.
And has a
She
life and
has a life outside of standing in this gym and like oh that's right, she's a nurse, she has a job that she goes to every day before she comes here. It helps them to remember that like we give a lot too, we give up a lot too, and I think that that's a good thing for them to
Mhm.
be reminded of sometimes.
for sure. I think that's huge because I do think sometimes kids get comfortable and like used to coaches that do give so much and spend so much time. So I know that's something we talk about that with our kids sometimes. Like, I actually one day I feel like kids were talking about something about their moms making dinner or something, and I was like,
And they weren't liking it.
no, they weren't liking the dinner that their moms made. And I was like, well, at least your mom's home to make dinner because my kids don't have their mom home to make dinner, so it's like,
Uh-huh.
I think sometimes it is good for them to see like, oh, these coaches are, yeah, like you said, doing so much outside of being here as coaches.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
What are strategies that you do to get it all done?
Oh,
um
good.
I don't. I
Okay.
always tell people like people at work are always like, how do you work full time and then you coach and then you do all, and I said, well, don't come to my house like on a random Wednesday night and expect that like the dishes are all done and like, it's completely spotless because it's not, I think you have to give yourself a little grace during the season because you might not be on top of everything in terms of, I mean, the lunches are packed, the laundry's done. We get the basics done, but the deep cleaning of the household happens after the season's over, that's for sure.
Mhm. Right.
Right. I
Don't.
know too, something she always has said is like try to do a load of laundry in the morning and do a load of laundry at night and try to fold your laundry like right when and that's like my big thing I'm bad at, but do like fold the laundry as it comes out because otherwise it piles up and then you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much laundry. I can't find their clothes. I know I try really hard to like lay my kids' clothes out the night before when I think about it. I kind of am really like after bedtime, I'm like pack their bags, try to do some dishes that I can and get that kind of stuff done so that I don't feel so stressed in the morning. And I think that can kind of help. She always says like I like do Target pickups or Walmart pickups or Instacart for groceries just because I like literally don't have time to go to the grocery store. So that's been
Mhm.
something that like I feel so lucky that we have that ability and it doesn't cost extra to do like Instacart does, but Target pickup and Walmart pickup is not extra. So that really has saved me a lot of time. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, and anything like that. I also like when I decided to get a cleaning lady, that like changed my life. And I never did for years, but then I would get stressed. Like as my house was getting dirty, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to clean that up. Oh my gosh, that, like all that stuff. And that has really like, I say it's like the best money that you can spend because
Yeah.
it helped me. And I have her every other week. So like 2 times a month and it's really helped a lot.
That's amazing. I think it comes back to that guilt piece, right? Like I feel like I was used to be so guilty about ordering groceries to my house because I was like, I should be able to do that. Like I should be able to stop by the store or I should be able to meal plan easier. And then I finally accepted, like, you know what, in the season of winter and between October and February, I do not have the brain capacity to think
Right.
about that as much as I do not during those months. So it's okay, like that I'm ordering groceries because that frees up space here. That will actually help me be a more present mom here or in a more
Right.
present here. So it's like picking and choosing where you're going to free up some capacity and not holding on with tight fists of like, I'm going to do it all kind of thing,
Right.
but
Right.
really, but
Oh, meal prepping, that's my like downfall as a mother. I think I am like not good at that in any season of the year.
I think
Try,
that's
but
one
it's
thing
not.
I always joke, like I love that. I mean, back to the supportive spouse, but like
Mhm.
my husband makes supper every day because I don't get home until after 6 o'clock from practice. So,
Yeah.
and we have to get off to our own my own kids' activities. So, uh,
Mhm.
does the cooking on during dance comp season.
Yeah.
It's great. It's so
Yeah.
great.
That's what my husband does. Like I will get the groceries and sometimes I'll pick the meals and then he'll just make the food. So it's like a tag
Teamwork.
team.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
Yeah. Yeah. The teamwork I think is like the biggest piece to the puzzle.
Hmm.
Anything else that comes to mind for you?
One thing that I had to do as my kids got like having kids, period, and as they're getting older, and I've done more. And like I think Allie, you said this is by nature. I don't think many head coaches we can kind of be control freaks, and I am, admittedly, but I've had to I've delegated more to my assistant coaches, which they are phenomenal. I'm so lucky that I've had assistant coaches that have been with me for a long time. But things like sending off the data sheets and the music uploads for every competition that we go to, or social media, or like apparel, things that I'm not super into the apparel, so I delegate all that to my variety of assistant coaches, and they are doing some of that stuff that I would be doing. Because the part that's hard for me, and I tell my kids this, is like when I'm prepping for practice and when I'm at practice, I want to be totally present for my kids on my team and like to the team. But then when I come home from practice, I have this little window of 6:15 to 8 o'clock that I am with my family and my kids. And so what I don't want to be doing is fielding phone calls, fielding emails, text messages from the kids, or doing things that we all have to prep and be prepared, and there's certainly things to do outside of practice, but I can't be doing that during my family time window. And that's when like my kids, now that they're older, they're going to be like, Mom, I need this, I need that. When they were little, they didn't really say that, but and even my husband, like, he wants me to be present for that window because that's our family time. So
Right.
I think that being able to delegate some of that stuff that I would used to do before I had kids, I used to do everything, and being able to delegate that frees me up to be a better mom and a coach.
For sure. I think that's huge. And I think that you've kind of always talked about that. I think as she's with just like business and everything, you've had to let go of so much that you used to do since like our business has grown, and you have to let go. And it does end up I feel like when you do that, it gives more pride to your assistant coaches as well, because they have more responsibility. And I think they are going to care more when they do have more responsibility too.
For sure.
So I think it does end up working,
And frankly, they're better at it. Like, the technology stuff is not my forte. Like, so the whole like Allstate thing, I know that was a big job. Like, I delegated that to one of my younger assistant coaches who probably took 10 minutes to do it, and it would have taken me 2 hours, And so, they're amazing women who can do all sorts of awesome things.
Yes, that's her, like Julie, who coaches with us too. Julie does a lot of that stuff, like she does all the data sheets and the all state stuff and that kind of thing. And I'm more stuck with choreography, not stuck with, but that's like what I like to do, is like the choreography side of it and helping with that. And then, we kind of all have our like little roles that we do, and it does make a huge difference for sure.
And I don't know if can you hear me?
Yeah.
I have assistant coaches at camp tell me they get upset that they don't get to do anything. Because the coach is a control freak. So
I would say when we do actually at camp, when we separate into like head coaches and assistant coaches, that's something that the assistant coaches say, not necessarily that they're like mad or frustrated, but some are mad and frustrated, but they want to help more. They want to be able to do more. And they're like, I don't know what the head coach necessarily wants from me, or I feel like I could be giving more. So I think, to all the head coaches out there, like, know that your assistant coaches do want to help and give more, and feel okay to let go of it. And it doesn't mean any less about you. And I think that's what's hard, is sometimes it feels like you feel like you're being, letting go of your ego, but you feel like you're letting people down if you can't handle it all. And it's being, I feel like, a bigger person to be able to say, okay, I need to like delegate and step back a little bit. And it does end up being a better thing in the long run.
yeah.
Taylor, how about you, especially with
Last thoughts.
like, being that you're due with a baby the weekend of state dance team?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm in the process of doing. And as we kind of ramp into sections in state, like, I'm looping in my assistants on everything. And it's like, because I
What's
might
your
not be
plan,
there.
Taylor? Do you have a plan?
That's my plan. I was like, I'm gonna be there as long as I can. And if I'm not, the team should still be able to be okay without me. Like, that's the plan. So like, what do I need to do so that I can step away if needed, if I'm in labor or having state, I don't know, or be there before at the hospital before state. That's my plan. So it's like, they should be set up for success.
Sure.
Right.
I had a baby the week of sections.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, so I can do it.
You can do it.
I could do it. I
Yeah,
hope she stays in until after, but if not, like it's going to help all of us in the long run. If they know what they're doing, it's going to help me in future years because
It helps you plan
that's
it.
just, again, it's going to take things off my plate. It's going to give them confidence. It's going to,
for
you
sure.
know,
It's
loop
kind
them
of
in.
funny because actually, like, I think it was when you had cancer, I kind of had to step and do, I can't even remember, it was bowl game. Bowl game was the thing where I was like, oh my gosh, I have to lead this huge meeting with all these people and do all, and then I did it and it was fine. And now I'm like, okay. I feel like I was able to like take a step up that year of like confidence in myself of being able to do things without her because I feel like my whole life I've had my security blanket on me here of my mom with me with everything that I do. And that year I was able to kind of realize I was capable of more too.
Yeah.
So I think it is good, to have that plan for your assistant coaches and then they'll feel more confident as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Well, you guys, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you guys so much. It was awesome having you on. We should have you on again to talk like more dance side of stuff too. That would be really fun.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love
I
that.
would love that. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us today and
Thank
good luck if we don't see you.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys too. We'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.